Hey, what's up everyone? In this video I'm going to be reviewing the best performing routers I've ever tested, the NETGEAR Orbi. There are a lot of other YouTubers who were sent these routers for free to review, but I think it's important to note that I was not sent these for free. I bought them with my own money and I have no monetary incentive to give these routers a good review. Before I give my thoughts on the routers, let's talk about the physical aspects. I have the RBK50 package, which includes the RBR50 and the RBS50, which is the tri-band AC3000 router and tri-band AC3000 satellite respectively. These routers aren't interchangeable, meaning that you have to use the RBR50 as the main router and the RBS50 as the extension satellite. Both the main router and satellite have 4 gigabit Ethernet ports, a USB 2.0 port, which for some reason can only be used to connect printers and not external storage, as well as power on-off switches. The RBR50, or the main router, also has a WAN port to connect it to the internet. The routers are pretty simple to set up. Simply get the main unit plugged into a power source as well as to your modem and connect it to your phone or computer using the preset Wi-Fi settings. To get the satellite connected, use the free app on your phone to scan the QR code on the satellite to add it to the network. I was able to get the routers up and running within about 15 minutes, or 25 if you count the firmware updates. I want to briefly touch on the router's design because it's something to note. These routers aren't the best looking routers I've owned, not by a long shot. But then again, they aren't the ugliest either. Other people might have different opinions than I do, but I personally think they're big and kind of a boring design. The boring design isn't necessarily a bad thing because I would still take these over a router with 6 antennas sticking out of it. Both the router and satellite have LED lights on the top to signal their statuses, but they only lit up during the setup process. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I thought they would be always on. There's one more nitpicky thing about the design that I don't like, and that's the power adapter. It's huge. If you plan on plugging this into a tight space behind a couch or into a populated surge protector, you should keep its size in mind. I'm not going to bore you by giving you a tour of the router's desktop setup page or the Orbi smartphone app, though if you want to see that, let me know in the comments section down below. Instead, I'll just share my thoughts on it. It's really not that great. The browser-based setup page isn't too bad, but it's a little clunky at times, and I wish it would show individual devices' real-time data usage, or at the very least the total real-time data usage. That's something I really liked about Google Wi-Fi and Amplify HD. The smartphone app, on the other hand, is so far behind the competition that I've resorted to opening Safari on my iPhone and going to the router's setup page each time as opposed to using the app. It has limited settings, an outdated design, and just isn't very useful with showing information I care about, such as simple things like showing which access point each device is connected to. For the basic needs, the app is okay. Let's move on to performance. This is the reason why this is my favorite router I've ever used, better than Google Wi-Fi and Amplify HD. The routers are tri-band, which means they have a 2.4 GHz radio and 2 5 GHz radios. One of the 2 5 GHz radios is for connecting devices via 802.11ac, and the other radio is a dedicated signal for the wireless backhaul. The wireless backhaul is used to send all the data from the satellite unit to the main router. So basically, if your phone is connected to the satellite, it might connect to its 5 GHz 802.11ac band on channel 48, for example. From there, the satellite connects to the main router using the 5 GHz 802.11ac on, let's say, channel 157. This means that the wireless signal from your phone to the satellite and from the satellite to the main router aren't interfering with each other. Google Wi-Fi and Amplify HD had all 3 access points connected to each other using the same channel and connecting to wireless devices on the same channel as well, so there was interference which caused internet speeds to be degraded significantly. This tri-band setup works, and it works exceptionally well. With Google Wi-Fi and Amplify HD, I would get about 150 to 175 megabits per second down in my basement when I was connected to one of the extension access points. But with the NETGEAR Orbi, I can get over 450 megabits per second throughout my house. It's incredible, and I was blown away when I got these results. Needless to say, if you're paying for internet speeds of at least 150 megabits per second, then the NETGEAR Orbi should be your top pick if you want to actually get those speeds. I want to touch on some other small observations I've made. First, the browser-based setup page offers plenty of customization and tweaking. I used to have an ASUS router years ago, and it doesn't quite have the level of customization that had, but it's still much more than what you would find with Google Wi-Fi or the Amplify. Second, I'm still a little upset about the USB ports on the routers not supporting USB storage drives. I think that's a feature that can easily be added in a software update. Third, the handoff between each access point, like if you were to carry your phone from one end of the house to the other, isn't as smooth as Google Wi-Fi and Amplify, but it isn't so bad that I found it to be a problem. And finally, the Orbi includes a built-in VPN server, which is a welcome feature. So in summary, this is the best performing router system that I've ever tested. There's no doubt about it. The performance is top-notch, but the design it's okay. The only problems I have has to do with the software such as the smartphone app and mediocre browser-based page, both of which can be made better in the future. It's safe to say I can recommend the NETGEAR Orbi. If you can afford it, you would be getting the best of the best and future-proofing your network for the next few years.